Okay. Oh, so, okay. You're right.
Bona ke tshaba mme, bona ke tshaba papa. Nkabo ke ikela mo lefolong, ke sitiene ke tsala ya me. Ene o tla nkutlwisa botlhoko. Bona ke tshaba mme, bona ke tshaba papa. Nkabo ke ikela mo lefolong, ke sitiene ke tsala ya me. Ene o tla nkutlwisa botlhoko. Bona ke tshaba mme, bona ke tshaba papa. Nkabo ke ikela mo lefolong, ke sitiene ke tsala
e thola jalo malatsi a hera bobedi ngwaga e le wa 2024 mme re le itsisi jalo batsadi gore baeng ba rona ba tsweletse ka go goroga mo lebaleng legolo la setšhaba a re tsweleleng jalo ka go itumela go nne monate thata.
Let me welcome you again at the National Stadium, where, like we previously indicated, we're expecting multitudes of people to come and witness this historic event. Already there are jubilant crowds in the stands. We have already started seeing some of the dignitaries trickle in. It is the dawn of a new era in Botswana's political history. The first time power has changed her hands since independence. After nearly 6 decades, voters delivered a shock defeat to the then ruling Botswana Democratic Party, ushering a new government led by human rights lawyer Mr. President Duma Gideon Boko and his umbrella for democratic change. And earlier on I did promise that we'll be talking to a whole host of guests to unpack to us what this day actually means to the people and this democracy. And this morning I have Dr. Boga Manata, a historian from the University of Botswana, who will share more insights on the UDC's approach to governance. today not only marks a change of hands of political power, Dr. Boga, it marks a shift of ideology on how things will run. What could the voter expect in terms of how things would be run in this new government?
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Botswana. Hi. I've already been introduced. My name is Boga Manasa. I'm with the University of Botswana as the head of the department. I think I think we're going to go for a Bitumese in Botswana. Just a Katasino Utoko.
Dr. Boga, jaaka re ne re bua re re tota hela UDC etla dira eng tla direla Batswana eng gongwe hela re sentse re bankanya tsa maranyane wa rabe jana.
So I think say something very easy, or what you should know as Botswana is that the country is bedeviled by a lot of social ills, one of them being youth unemployment. We have a very high number of youth who are unemployed and others who are underemployed. We still have poverty at the rate of about 23%. We still have people now, graduates mostly from the University of Botswana, Lincoln Queen, roaming around the street. And we have perception, issues of corruption that are there in the country. We cannot deny that. And it is be incumbent upon the new government to address the social issues, to take people into confidence, to be a truly consultative democracy. Because people need to be consulted. We need an inclusive government. If then you don't take people, the voters, or all Botswana in confidence, then the new government will have a serious problem. Because we need a national healing as a country. The country was a bit divided in terms of, you could see even in social media, people are not happy about certain things. Even since after COVID, people have not been really enjoying their lives in terms of, as I said, just of unemployment. So I do believe that the new government has a mammoth task, especially to deal with youth unemployment. It's a very, very serious thing. And when the new government talked about issues of students' allowance, many people may take this as a light thing. I'm a university lecturer at the University of Botswana. These students' allowances have been very stagnant for a very long period of time. And then for issues of inflation has been going up, combi taxes, rent has been going up. The new government will need to really consult and engage with the students themselves, the student body, and also all Botswana in general to make sure that we have a very inclusive path as we move forward.
Dr. Manasa, we will delve a little bit more on inclusive governance and inclusive economy. But I want you to really unpack this for us. The UDC's approach, they say, to the economy will be more of a social democracy model. Maybe if you could unpack for us what it really means as compared to what the Botswana Democratic Party was doing.
What should I do? What?
The question is, UD's approach to the economy, they refer to social democracy. Some analysts say that. So we want to find out, how is it different from what the BDP has been doing? How is it going to be different, this social democracy?
I think in most cases, analysts have been describing the BDP government as a bit elitist, maybe not that inclusive. Because social democracy is you have to look at issues of health, issues of education, issues of unemployment, issues of inclusive participatory democracy. Of course, the BDP government has been doing that, but I do believe that as we have been seeing all over since for the past 58 years, we have become more of a welfare state than a state that is really empowering people maybe to have their own kind of living. Because if you say you're going to pay people decent wages, you are trying by all means to empower people to also have a contribution in the running of the economy. Social democracy and a welfare state, because welfare states sometimes end up creating kind of a dependency syndrome on the people. So that's the difference between social democracy and welfare state.
While he was on the campaign trail, there was emphasis on the human rights-based development model. And I'm sure it's quite a sort of a new phenomenon to most of us. What does he mean, really, here?
You know, President Advocate Gideon Boko is a lawyer by profession, we all know. And for those who don't know, he wrote a lot about the plight of the Basara, the marginalized. So what he really meant was the rule of law, because we have seen some institutions of government, instead of dealing with issues of corruption in a more humane manner, approaching this from the rule of law, we have seen in some cases like a thuggish kind of behavior, which I think does not even instill confidence on the people and internationally. Each and every individual who's maybe they have trampled upon the law needs to be highly respected in terms of approaching all these issues. The minority rights, these are the issues of minority rights, the marginalized criminals. So the rule of law should really be. We have seen yesterday, Gideon Duma Boko has even revoked the declaration of people who were said to be requiring visa into Botswana. I mean, from his own perspective, unless and until maybe you have been convicted, such drastic measures should not be taken. We should see people, the police officers, the security agents, they should be friends to the people. People should be friends to them. That kind of the rule of extrajudicial killing. These things has to, we're challenging the image of the country. I do believe that the new government will very much seriously look into all these issues in a more kind of applying the rule of law and in a human way. We are about to babu too. Let us just approach that from all these angles.
Yes, you alluded to the party having a mammoth challenge to really transform and reform this country, and you did talk about job creation. I want us to talk a little bit more about this one. It is a very important part of the non-negotiable deliverables, if I might say, of the new government. How do you see the new party working around this? How are they going to do it?
I've heard people in the world just dream, thinking that by the end of October, after the end of November, they would have given them 2,500. I mean, the government is a new government. We have to accept that. They still have a lot to do in terms of, they don't know what is happening. We have been told that there are no monies.
Yeah.
The coffers are dry. So, but in terms of delivering of jobs, we have thousands of teachers who are temporary teachers. So when you are a temporary teacher, it shows that there's a job. Why can these people be absorbed? Because if you are a temporary teacher, you're not employed, you are underemployed. We have got the people working for Ipelecheng, for Namolaluba. Those people, you can easily transform them into public waste model. We have a lot of clinics, primary schools, they are so dilapidated. This idea of giving tenders to people to paint a primary school, this we should stop. The government should just dish out money to district councils and a lot of artisans, even where I come from, in those villages. The buildings unit in this district council should make sure that they supervise those people. When you supervise those people, you include them into jobs, they get the decent money. I mean, there are a lot of jobs that people can think about. So we have got special constables. All of them should be absorbed. We have got students in internship. When you have these people actually they're internship, but they're working, why can't you just absorb those people? Now, in terms of job creation and absorbing people into jobs, it is easily achievable, in my view. I've talked about all those public works. I've talked about the people in temporary teaching. I've talked about people in internship. Those things are doable, in my view.
The UDC is adamant that the air resources to actually fulfill them, the campaign promises. How true is that? Maybe if I can ask.
How is what?
They were saying there are resources available to actually fund the campaign promises. Where are they going to get the money if you're saying that the coffers are running dry?
So, in my view, the issue of about money, so we need to diversify the economy. We have been talking about the diversification of the economy. I mean, the youth, I mean, the industries that could cater for the youth, the entertainment industry, the sport industry, the cultural industry. So these are the niches that we have not been really exploring to the full extent. So the issue about where they are going to get the money, there have been too much wastage. I've talked about unnecessary tenders just to paint a classroom, for instance. The money is there. If you are to give a tender to somebody who's going to paint a classroom, being paid 2.5 million, that money can't be redistributed to all the youth in a village. So I think there have been too much wastage, and even the government knows very well. We also know that there are issues of corruption, whether they are true or not. Those perceptions have to be followed up. So, in my view, we do have to diversify the economy. If you are paying people as temporary teachers, then there's money. There are a lot of teachers in the temporary. So I think the government will need to diversify the economy and deal with the tourism industry also. So it has to be benefit the communities to their greater extent than it is before. I am not trying to deny that the previous government has worked very hard, and nobody should deny that. They've done their part, and we need to move forward and look. We have to work together with those who were in power, because, you know, people will be saying this is a new government. Of course, maybe they might be lacking experience, but there are people who have in the civil service. Still, they can help the new government to move forward. But the BDP government from 1966, they've done very well in terms of social development, in terms of access to education, in terms of access to water, in terms of access. Some of us benefited because